Yo, Key, shout out to Darvin Ham. I mean, I give respect where respect is due. Look, I'm picking Golden State still to win the series. It's going to be a tight series. And I learned something last night that Darvin Ham, the scheme that you have on Vanderbilt, Garden, top locking, chasing guys of Steph Curry. And what happens when you got a guy who's 6'8", who plays on the high side, like you could chase over the top of the screen, it gives you a different feel than what we saw, with Al Horford playing in drop coverage and a smaller guard like Derek White chasing over the top. Like when you got a guy who's 6'7", 6'8", who's trailing you on plays, that length, that size deters you, and you funnel people into LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who, by the way, were just playing off Draymond and Kevon Looney. They were just sitting in the middle of the paint. That gave a different look and feel to Steph, who was 10 of 24 for 20. If you look at 27 points, but on 24 shots.
Yeah.
That game plan worked, man.
I thought they was going to call a bunch of illegal defenses, though, because they were just standing there.
They were just standing there. I'm like, damn, y'all ain't. Like, all right, Draymond's not guarding Jared Vanderbilt, but at the same time, LeBron and AD aren't guarding Looney and Draymond. Like, it's a different feel. So I give Darvin Ham all the credit in the world. That game plan worked. Now, will it work? Some things you learned in the fourth quarter, like the zone threw you guys off a little bit, Key, when they started doing more high ball screens at the top. It put AD in tougher situations. So, look, there's going to be counters to these moves that have been done, but to get one at Golden State, and AD got wide open shot after wide open shot. I'm like, okay, are you guys going to guard Anthony Davis, who's getting shots at the elbow? I mean, he just found his rhythm in the first quarter, and I mean, he had 27 to what, in 7? 27 and 10 in the first half?
He ended with 30, 23, and 5 with 4 block shots.
Oh, yeah, 23 in the first half, Key.
That was his final stat line, but he was in his 20s in the first half. But it changed a little bit because, like I said yesterday, them second shot attempts late in the game, Golden State was getting those second shot attempts. When they went 14, I think it was, a 14-0 run?
Yeah,
something like that, 14-2. They was getting those second shots. Prior to that, we was pretty much Windexing the boards. We was cleaning the boards and doing our job. For whatever reason, late in the game at about the 4 or 5 minute mark, we stopped. I don't know. We just stopped doing that.
Can I just say my headline for today? And I know it's taking me 7 minutes to work into this segment because I feel like I'm so damn tired. Jordan Poole, you are not 30. You are not 30. And if I just watch 30, give me a 50-point master class.
Like 26.
He's a number below 30, whatever that is, Key. But if I just watch 30, give me a master class in Game 7 in Sacramento on the road. Like, I know that you got the bag. And this has been an ongoing theme that this team has to work through, whether it's Steph calling them out in the huddle or, Draymond Green trying to grab his hand. He saw in Game 6 when they were getting smacked at home and Jordan didn't want to deal with it. At some juncture, I need you to give the ball back to 30 and not take a shot 7 feet behind the three-point line with 8 seconds left to go in the game.
So the Lakers win 117-112. AD, as I mentioned, 30, 23, 5, and 4 blocks. LeBron, 22, 11, and 3, has not shot well from 3, and the Lakers have won anyway. D'Angelo Russell, when he scores, the Lakers tend to win. They're 5-0, and he has at least 15 points, and 0-2 when he doesn't. Jay, going into this game, going into this series, you thought the Warriors would win.
I still think the Warriors would win.
And that it wouldn't be as competitive. It sounded from the way you were describing it as some other people thought it might be. You seem to be very confident this is a bad matchup for the Lakers. If Schroeder's running around chasing Curry, it's just bad for the Lakers. Now that Game 1 is over and the Lakers won, in spite of LeBron really not being able to hit from deep, hit one shot from deep, do you feel anything different? Have you learned anything from Game 1? Has your prediction changed at all in terms of how long the series is going to go?
See, last night the Lakers team that sometimes I question showed up, Key. You and I have talked about the inconsistency with the Lakers, and that's a thing sometimes with Anthony Davis that concerns me. When they are physical, when they make it a fight and they actually defend, they can compete in this series. They can win this series. It should go 7, or maybe they actually win it earlier. But it's the inconsistencies that sometimes I feel like it happened in the first quarter. There are times where you're like, okay, Dennis Schroeder, if you try to shoot the gap on the screen, you're going to get beat. If you try to go under a ball screen and you don't chase over D'Lo, Austin Reeves, you're going to get beat. You saw that a little bit, but when they stay disciplined defensively and they sustain that high energy level, like that's when they're going to be at their best. It's just sometimes questioning whether they have the ability to do that because we've seen them trick off games a lot.
Look, if Anthony Davis plays the way that he's playing throughout the playoffs, every single game that he's balled out, the Lakers have gotten a W out of it. If he continues to give you the final stat line, 30, 23, 5, and however many blocks. If he does that, as I've always said, I've been saying this since day one, this goes through Anthony Davis. It does not go through LeBron James. LeBron James may be the name, he may be the brand, but if the Lakers are going to win a championship this year, and this year alone, Anthony Davis has got to be Anthony Davis. He's got to be the guy that they traded for to get him from New Orleans and give up that haul. He cannot be a guy that every time you look up, he's getting off the floor or he's taking bad shots because he's being pushed off the blocks and he's doing turnarounds from 90 feet out. You cannot do that. If he does what he did last night, the Lakers will win this series and be on to the next.
By the way, when they won the championship in the bubble, LeBron used him as an offensive weapon the same way. Yeah, LeBron is the one who's running the offense through Anthony Davis. But, guys, if you replaced LeBron on this team with another really good player who can set up your offense, do you think that they would – like, who knows if they'll beat Golden State. They're up 1-0. They stole one on the road. But I would feel very different about it. Like, it's still LeBron with his hands on the strings, right? But Steph has created a league. This is when everyone's like, oh, look at the influence he's had on the game. He's changed the game. He has. He's created a league where a lot of guys might think that's a good shot, right? If you're in rhythm, if you're feeling it, if you're the open man and you have a good look, you might think you might not have a better look. You take it in rhythm. I mean, Steph made comments to that effect after the game. Do you think that that's cut and dried? Like he definitely doesn't take that shot?
I just don't like the shot. I mean, I don't know why you can't take a dribble closer.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that, Jay.
You could take.
I was about to ask you a dribble close in with one or two steps.
Pull up.
Instead of just put like.
Yeah, get in your bag. Why are you taking a shot from like between half court and 3
point? Who was coming over to someone was trying to put a hand up.
All right, so, I mean, look, LeBron's
right there.
Yeah, but the guy's coming from your right side.
Who is that? I can't see.
It's Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
he's coming from your right side, but he's running from an angle. Like, he's not coming from the rim towards you. He's coming from the sideline towards you.
Yeah, right.
You can still
you take a few steps,
dribble in.
You make it harder for him, as a matter of fact, yeah.
You make it easier for yourself. Now, Key, look, this is going to be.
Punch right now. If he punch.
I said punch that.
Yeah, punch it.
Like, get that in there. So, I don't like the shot at all. I much rather in that situation, get a step closer or find a way. Steph was coming back towards the ball. You see Steph kind of throw his hands up in the air, that's kind of.
Because he thought he was going to whip it back to him.
Exactly.
He probably, to be honest with you, Jordan Poole, Jay probably didn't, sometimes the clock, he probably didn't realize the clock,
how much
what
time
the clock
it was.
was.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing sometimes with Jordan. Jordan is a really talented player who is deserving of all of his money. But sometimes Jordan has not taken that step. He's a reactionary player. He's not a cerebral player yet. Steph is reactionary and cerebral. And I think that's the missing element of Jordan's game. Where he's just sometimes so in his bag, you could tell, he's playing faster, then his mind needs to slow down a little bit because his body's playing faster, and that's where Steph is way more poised.
He did hit some shots, he hit some difficult shots in the game, so he probably was feeling. You know what I'm saying? He was feeling himself a little bit. He hit that shot on D'Lo and gave him the little. I don't even know what that was, but he gave him the piano. You know what I'm saying, with the fingers. So I'm like, okay, so he's starting to feel himself a little bit.
But you feel me though, Key? Just watch when Steph play. It's not a bad thing. I'm surely pointing out the differences, right? And one player is extremely young, learning how to mold himself into, being a champion and playing with Steph. And Steph is obviously experienced, but watching the little tendencies of him, Jordan just moves frenetically. It's very herky-jerky. Where you watch Steph, it just seems like it's way more intentful, right? It's fluid a lot of times. I think sometimes players on their team get a little bit frustrated, hey, the helter-skelter, man, slow it down. there's a rhythm that comes along with how we play, mirror that rhythm a lot more.
Meantime, it is true that LeBron and Steph have faced each other. And the reason, I know, obviously you can't reduce it to one-on-one, but they both are the orchestrators of their teams.
But wait, Max, before we go into legacy for a second, because I know you want to get there on these two, I do want to point out the Lakers last night shot 29 free throws.
And hit a lot.
As opposed to Golden State shooting 6. Now, that's not poor refereeing. That's because they were physical. Yeah. They dictated the physicality of the game. They also dominated with 54 to 28 points in the paint. If that's going to be the case, then Golden State's going to have a hard time, right? Because they need to negate that or combat that with the three-point shot. So they need to knock down a lot more three-point shots if you're giving up that many points in the paint. Allowing those free throw discrepancies.
Speaking of Steph, his effect.
Free throw discrepancies.
Speaking of Steph, his effect on the game is the reason where you even go into a series like this, and the smaller team is considered, it's a tough styles matchup. In the old days, you got the best big player. It's like, what are you going to do with that guy? But still, that's your best way to try to beat this. And it always has been with Golden State. When they went with their death lineup and everything, could you kind of get inside on them and punish them in the interior? But, Jay, I want to get back, of course.
To legacy.
To LeBron and Steph. They're the orchestrators of their team. They're the two players of the era. And while Steph is way up in the head-to-head series, in fact, when you break it down, clearly LeBron had him in 2015. He just had his second and third best players not playing. Not like one or two rotation pieces. The two other All-Stars he had on the team were not available to him.
You mean like all the teams that CP3 has played for?
Yeah, sure. But we're talking about LeBron and Steph.
I understand. I'm just saying critical players get hurt in series. It happens all the time.
And when you lose your second and third best player, it's an enormous disadvantage. So if that series goes 6 games, you might conclude afterwards, Steph and the Warriors are very lucky that those two guys got hurt. That would be my conclusion. In the next year, LeBron beats Steph. And then Steph gets LeBron twice, both times with KD.
Well, that's when LeBron, you say beat Steph, but they were down 3-1. It was one of the greatest comebacks of all time, right?
Yeah.
But Draymond Green kicking, you can make a case that series could have gone different if he doesn't get ejected.
Who provoked that?
I understand, but you give, I'm just saying, if you're providing data points that fit one narrative, but like, well, 2 guys are down, you have to give also data points that fit the other narrative that if that guy wasn't out, maybe they don't come back 3-1.
That's right, but that's to LeBron's credit. As you agree, he provoked it. He got it out of him. So that's something LeBron did to affect the series. And then, by the way, last 5 minutes of the game at home, fourth quarter, game 7, 73-win team, they didn't score a point. Whole unit did not score a point. Steph threw it out of bounds.
Why are we talking about the Warriors from 30 years ago?
The point is that the next time they faced each other, the Warriors had KD. You couldn't beat them. If you think you can't say. Just imagine if KD had looked at LeBron and the Cavs and go, I'm going to join the Cavs. Cavs couldn't, and they had Kyrie and Kevin Love and KD. They would have crushed everyone. Well, the Warriors are the ones who got KD, so they crushed everyone. That doesn't tell me a lot about the Steph-LeBron thing. Here we're in another series. Guys like you, Jay, the experts are looking going, this is going to be not so great for the Lakers probably. What does it mean for their legacies? If
it don't mean anything, man. It's the second round. This ain't the championship. This ain't game 7. It's the second round.
Doesn't matter when these two meet. People are going to remember it.
It's not. No, you want to manufacture that and make it something.
Well,
this
maybe,
this is about Anthony Davis. This is totally about Anthony Davis. This is not about LeBron James. LeBron James is shooting awful. Okay, he is playing basketball with his team. He is a leader of the team. But all of this is going through Anthony Davis.
LeBron is running the offense through AD.
This is AD versus Steph Curry right now. This is not LeBron James. We want it to be LeBron James because it's a great story. But if LeBron James continues to play the way he's playing and Anthony Davis all of a sudden plays bad, the Lakers are going home. Period.
Yes, of course, because you need a crime partner, and LeBron is basically the point guard. So you're going to use the big. By the way, Magic used Kareem.
But he's not a big.
He really hasn't been.
AD is him. AD is the best player on their team.
Well, if you swap LeBron out for another
but if you swap Anthony Davis out for somebody else, you think they're going to be You just think they're going to be there again? I mean, it's the same exercise on the other end, too.
Yes, that's a good point. It depends for whom. You know, if you gave him Jokic or Embiid, I think they'd be just fine. But who would you have to swap LeBron out for? Like, even if you gave them, let's say, Ja Morant, someone really good, young, up and coming, I don't think the Lakers, I don't think they are where they are. Like, LeBron is still the guy pulling the strings, is he not?
Yeah.
Is he running the offense?
Yeah, he pulls a lot of the strings. I mean, he's LeBron James, but they don't go far without Anthony Davis.
No question. But I'm saying I know this is not the finals. In the offense, AD is going to be the lead scorer, and he's also going to be the best defender. He anchors the team defensively. But I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think a LeBron team has ever been favored to beat a Steph team in the playoffs. I believe, again, could be wrong, but I believe in 2015 the Warriors were favored. I'd have to check that. Certainly once, yeah, they were favored. 16, they were certainly favored. 17 and 18, they had KD, they were favored. Here they're favored, right? Like, if LeBron, I throw the KD years, like anyone who had KD, like either one of those guys got KD, it'd have been a wrap. So Steph got him. But in the other series, Steph is always favored, but so far 15, 16, man, LeBron's done a lot. I'm saying, so here we are again in that kind of situation. What, you don't think it means anything? Where
not for no legacy, Max. You're
what does it mean to you
on the legacy?
Yeah, what does it mean to you if you, because you're the one asking the question? It feels like
this
it means something to you.
Okay, so it seems to me, if you talk about eras, right? You go from Magic and Bird to MJ to Shaq and Kobe and Duncan, right? To LeBron. And LeBron for a long time, and now it looks like to Steph.
Yeah, they're two best generational players.
If LeBron bumps Steph, especially if the Lakers then advance, it's still LeBron. He's still the guy.
LeBron is not the same player.
No doubt. No doubt.
What do you mean
Steph is the same player, man. Steph may be even better.
Even better. I agree with that.
He may be even better. LeBron's not there.
So
it's not even a comparison right now.
Steph is better than LeBron right now.
Yes, we all think that. If the Lakers win this series, you'll think differently about
that. No, I won't.
Okay, we shall see.
By the way, it is reasonable to think that the better player loses the series in team sports, Max.
Yes, if he's on the worst team.
What?
If the better player's on the lesser team, you expect it's possibly, if the better player's on the better team, he's not supposed to lose a series. And according to you, Jay, at least in terms of the Styles matchup, heading into this series, that was Steph.
But Max, this is not tennis. It's not like one-on-one. It's not like saying, well, look, like LeBron's not even guarding Steph.
Agreed. But
Austin Reeves can carry them in any game.
Okay.
Just all of a sudden he gets extremely hot.
But I don't know why that's hard for you to think. Like the best player can still lose in a team sport to another team.
That is, I've already addressed that. So if you guys are ignoring that, that's not on me. Yes, that is possible. But if the better player is also on the better team, you would expect him to win. And Jay, according to your analysis heading into this series,
the style is better. It doesn't mean that they're a better team. The style, it's a battle of styles. And by the way, this team stunk on the road.
But this was at home, actually.
It's not even the style, Jay. It's not the style. It's the personnel matchups in what they do.
Well,
was why Jay felt a certain way like many other people. Because when you have Steph Curry running all over the place, when you have Klay running all over the place, and they're consistently moving the ball around, and you haven't shown the ability to slow them down when they're doing that, is the reason Jay felt that way.
Yeah, by the way, here's an answer that I would accept, and Jay, you and I have discussed this on and off, Mike, for like months and months.
Here's an answer I would accept.
Yes, because I'm the one who decides these things.
He's the teacher. We're writing the reports.
Gather around, young children. The point is,
he drinks coffee.
A lot of times heading into that makes me a teacher.
Smoking cigarettes outside,
eating cheese
with the coffee.
So a lot of times when the reason Steph is favored, when you really break it down, is because they have Steph, and it makes his team look better than it really is. For example, if you looked at these Warriors without Steph, are they really that good? Klay is coming back off of injury still. He's not the same guy he used to be, at least not yet. Wiggins is nice. A lot of teams have guys like that. And Draymond, these are not, it's not like, oh my God, what an all-star team. Steph is the reason that they're favored. If you want to say that they could be overrated in our minds because that's how great Steph is, and then that gets exposed a little bit, okay, is that what you're saying? I don't understand.
Wait, no.
Well, then LeBron's team just going to beat Steph's?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.